From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
I really felt like this dog had a story in him. And as I got to know him, I started to take notes. And I kept copious notes from the people who arranged the adoption. And I kept copious notes from the vet. And I found that his personality began to emerge after about 8 weeks. And I thought, his story is like every child's story in that children have to endure changes, they have to move, they have to adjust to school, they have to meet friends and socialize. And he had to go through a lot of those obstacles in his life. And I thought, this would be a very interesting story for kids to know about. And quite honestly, I didn't write the book. He wrote the book, but I did the typing. So the book is in his voice, and it's very much about what it was like to survive a storm. I had to do some research, but that was quite a storm. And the animal life and how various species had to survive. And above all, what travails he had being brought to a shelter and eventually coming up north after a very different kind of life. And I thought, this is a story that will empower kids to feel like they can succeed and they can transcend various challenges that life throws at them. And as you can see, he is a success story. He's a happy boy, and he brings a lot of joy to other people. So it's Hooper's autobiography by Hooper with a little help from me. And when he came to us, it was so evident that he wanted to be around children. So dogs generally will let you know if they are suited to this kind of work, and if so, they respond very easily to the training. And they do flunk out, but luckily we have an A student here today. At UC Davis, they did a study that in 10 weeks of reading one-on-one with a dog and a helpful facilitator, the kids' reading comprehension and fluency improved in 10 weeks, 12%. So there you have some science behind what is an act of love. Sometimes moms like to get in on the action. Sometimes we read in groups. And there we are at one of our local libraries. And here we have one of the longest running programs, which is called READ, Reading Education Assistant Dogs. And there the belief is that a one-on-one session is the most effective. Nevertheless, there are lots of ways and lots of programs at your local libraries. How many of you have a dog in your local library? Hands. Hands, please. I don't see nearly enough hands. So what do you need to do? You need to go to your local children's librarian and say, hey, how about having a reading dog, a reading buddy? Only it doesn't have to be a dog. There are reading rabbits, and there is an actual reading guinea pig in the mix. The whole point is to encourage kids to love reading and along the way to appreciate the animals that help them do it. It's a program that brings lots and lots of joy to children and to parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and any of you who have children in your life. It's a win-win, and one of the great beneficiaries, I'm proud to say, is Hooper. There are several training organizations. Pet Partners is one, Intermountain Therapy is Animal Therapy is another. I brought literature. If you are interested in having a reading a reading buddy in your library, or B, you are considering training your dog, or C, best of all worlds, you're thinking about rescuing a dog and would like eventually for your dog to be a reading buddy. So now I would like to hear from you guys. Anybody got a question for me or for Hooper? Come on up here. The question is, are there reading hermit crabs? I don't think so. I'm sorry. You know what? Maybe at the beach. And ladies and gentlemen, a question from Superman. Wait. So you are Super Hooper Man. Way to go, Hooper. That is another Hooper right over there. Hooper, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? What? He is so surprised. The question is, can he do any tricks? Shall we do some tricks? Okay. Okay. Ready?
Big finish.
Hooper. Leave it. Nope. Nope. Take it.
How old was he when you got him?
You know, that's a fabulous question, because there's no real perfect way to know. But what we did know was that his growth plates were fully developed, which means that he was about a year old. So if he was about a year old, and we got him 8 years ago, how old do you think he is? Exactly. He's about 9. And he has his cranky days, but by and large, he loves visiting kids like you. Yes, ma'am.
Can I pet him?
Yes, you may. And he's smiling at the attention. He likes this attention a lot. Do you want to give him a treat? You know how, just in the flat of your hand, just bring it to him. You know, this is one of the things, it seems like a very insignificant thing, but this is what we do all the time, and part of the lesson is not only about reading, it's about being compassionate with animals, about understanding how to pet them, how to give them a treat, how to interact with them in a way that doesn't scare them, and how to know when you meet a dog that you don't want to grab for a tail or grab for his face, but very gently pet him exactly like you're doing, and that it will make him very happy. And that bond between kids and dogs is another benefit of this program.
Hooper came to my school once.
Do you know anybody that would help to read out loud by having somebody like Hooper around? Can you think of ways it would help kids?
The dog would be there to listen to them. The dog might know how to read too, and it could help you learn.
I think that that's a good way to get kids to read out loud, by speaking to the dog. The more they do it, the faster they will be able to do it eventually.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.